Hey, hi everyone, welcome to Euron guys, and again in this chapter, so it's an extension of the function itself. We are going to talk about different things inside a function. So let me share my screen guys, and let's start talking about the function. So what we are going to discuss guys, by the way, so we are going to talk about a positional argument, a keyword argument, and a default argument. So that will be like the part of the discussion that we are going to initiate, that we are going to do. So let's start talking about it, that what is a meaning of positional argument, what is the meaning of a keyword argument, and what is the meaning of a default argument. So see guys, in my last lecture, so I taught you about, like, let's suppose I'm writing a function, and let's suppose there is a variable which I'm trying to pass a comma b, and then I'm trying to return something a plus b, right? Okay. So here I'm trying to pass an argument. Fine. I'm trying to pass an argument a and b. Basically, it's a data which I'm trying to pass. Now, so I can try to call test, and then I can try to pass basically a data 23 comma 45. So a is equal to, by default, right? By default, let me print it again. So print value of like a, and then print a value of, basically print a value of yahan par, like for example here b. Yeah. So it is going to print a value of a is what? Automatically 23. Value of b is what? 45. Automatically it is able to understand that, okay, value of a is basically 23 and the value of b is basically a 45. Automatically it is able to understand. Yeah, fine. Okay. Now, so if it is able to understand a and b, so how it is able to understand automatically? So basically it is trying to do a mapping. So whichever comes first will be assigned to this one, second assigned to this one, and in the same way, in the same sequence it is going to follow along, and whichever is going to come first, second, third, fourth, in that way it will try to understand that, okay, value of a is this, b is this, c is this, d is this. So now this is something called as positional argument. So based on the positions, it will be able to understand. It will be able to understand that, okay, so this is the value of a, this is the value of a b. Now, so here I'm going to call the same test function, but I'm going to write like over here that b is equals to 45 and then a is equals to basically 23. I'm going to like do it in this way. Now here, see, I have not written in a sequential manner, positional manner, default positional manner. So what I'm trying to do over here is that b is equal to 45. I have written before. I have written b before a, and a is equal to 23. But I have mentioned a keyword. I have mentioned what? I have mentioned basically a keyword saying that okay, so this is the value of a, this is the value of b, you are supposed to understand. And again, in this way, it is not going to be in a sequence. I can try to write it down in my order, the order in which I want, as simple as that. So here I'm able to write down in my own order. So maybe before, after a, b, whatever it is, right? So I can jumble up in this situation, but still system will be able to understand the correct value of a and the correct value of b. So value of a is 23, value of b is basically 45. Yeah, correct value it is able to understand, although I have not written into a order. Now this kind of a phenomena is called as basically a keyword argument. Yes, a keyword argument. Now, let's suppose I'm going to create another function, def, and then maybe like a test 2 I'm going to create. Yeah. Now, this is going to take like a couple of things, A, B, C, and D. And I'm writing over here that D is equal to 10. D is equal to 10. Now, print what? Or not print, let's return everything. Return what? So A, comma, B, comma, C, comma, D. Okay. Return everything. Now, if I'm going to call like I'm going to call test 2 if I'm going to call, and if I'm going to pass a value of a, b, c, and d, 2 comma 3, let's suppose I'm just passing two values, right? I'm just trying to pass two values. Now it is telling me that one missing positional argument is required, c. It is not talking about d, by the way, right? It is not talking about d, by the way. D is what? D is a argument which I'm trying to pass, but by default, I have already provided some value for a d. That is also possible in case of Python function. So I can try to create a function. I can try to create an argument for that, where I can try to provide a default argument. So it will not be worried about a d. It is just worried about c, that why you are not passing a value of c, why you are just giving me a and b. Where is c? Where is my c, by the way? Yeah. So this is something that it is looking for, as you can see over here. Now here, so 2 comma 3 comma 5. Now if I'm going to provide, so 2 comma 3 comma 5 and then 10. 10 is coming from where? This one, a default argument that I have provided. Now what I can do is I can even write like a 50. Now what will happen is that it will be able to understand that this 50 is for what? 50 is for fourth argument, D. This is how it will be able to map the positional argument. So it will be able to understand that this 50 is basically for a D, and if 50 is basically for D, it is going to override. it is going to override. So now value of D is what? Not 10. Value of D is basically 50. So I'm trying to prove over here that you can try to create a argument. You can try to provide an input inside a Python function with some default values. This is called as default argument. So with the default values, you can try to provide, and then you can try to pass it on. As simple as that, right? And then like rest in whatever way like you would like to provide it, you can just do it. So this is something called as, guys, a default argument inside a Python. So I can try to pass a positional argument. I can try to pass basically a key-based argument or a keyword argument. I can try to pass. I can even try to pass basically a default argument. So hope all of you are able to understand this entire things. With that, thank you so much, everyone. See you again in my next upcoming lecture.